Hello, it's Jacob from Wedding Possible, and today I felt like giving you guys some of the insight behind my experience buying a engagement ring, especially since I have some time today to kind of be by myself. As you notice, Catherine's not with me, so now it's kind of more of an intimate you and me kind of moment. But let's get straight to it. The experience buying an engagement ring was kind of fun, honestly. Catherine and I had a lot of talks beforehand about what type of ring she was looking for and what she was liking. So we had back and forth about what type of band, what type of stones she wanted. On the early stages of the engagement ring, we started looking at rings and started to put things together into this Google Drive file, which allows you to pretty much congregate all your ideas and wants and wishes. Allowed us to really kind of pick and choose what we liked from each style of ring. But the biggest thing is those early staging planning to really start getting an idea of what your significant other wants, much like what we did, which helped a lot when it came to actually going into the jewelry stores or even just shopping online. There's a lot of polarity on the type of stone you should think about getting. I'm sure you guys are all well and aware, there's diamonds, which is the most common stone. That can be pretty pricey. Diamonds go up to thousands of dollars, and it's just a stone. And in my opinion, there are other stones out there that look better and shine better and have better looking colors to it. But luckily, Catherine and I opened the idea to not just being stuck with just a diamond, but looking at other types of precious jewels out there. I think one of the original talks that we had was probably going with, maybe I had said garnet because that's my birthstone, but she had said aquamarine because blue is like her favorite color. We came across essentially a stone that I actually found, was just doing some research on different types of stones, because my original idea for the engagement ring was to get me and my buddy, whoever wanted to join me, and go mine for some of the gold and the precious jewels. But the reality of that and the cost that would just be astronomical. All the time sunk, all the money sunk just to get that. I would highly suggest doing that, because I've seen some guys, especially on YouTube, who have gone to do that for their significant others and have mined the jewels and all of the silver or gold, whatever they needed. But I digress. The stone that we had found, moissanite, is beautiful looking stone. It looks similar to diamond. It gets cut just like diamonds would get cut, but the moissanite itself has, when a light reflects on it, it's more of like a rainbow-like colors, much more brilliant, I guess is the right term to use. And we were looking at YouTube videos back and forth, trying to figure out what the difference is between the two. And I think ultimately, when it came down to it, we really like how the moissanite looked, just the colors that came out of it, even the price point, which is a fraction of the cost of diamonds. The biggest thing with looking on things online is you don't get to see it firsthand. We decided to go to a few of the jewelry stores and take a look around to see what they have. One of the first kind of passes we did was through, your typical mall jewelers like K Jewelers, and we went, and I gotta tell you that the experience that we had with these mall jewelry stores wasn't very good. They were very pushy. Catherine kept telling them what she wanted, and the lady kept saying, well, no one ever does that. Like, why would you do that? I think ultimately, me coming from a sales background, I think you do what the customer wants. Unless you have a legitimate reason, do what the customer wants. And if you have a say, you should think about doing this. But you just don't call someone out for having a different opinion or wanting something different. No, the ladies at these, especially at K Jewelers, she wasn't very nice. She kept calling it old. If you are in a pinch to grab a ring, I guess those are okay. I wouldn't suggest it. There's so many more mom and pop style jewelry stores, or not these big bang jewelry stores, that are actually willing to negotiate with you and help you really find the ring that you want. Case in point is Catherine had known somebody who knew somebody who owned a jewelry store, and this guy had a buy your gold, buy your diamonds type of store in Oxnard, and Catherine had set up an appointment with this guy. I guess Catherine gave him what she was looking for, and so we went to his shop, And we waited for him for a bit, but he came out from his car, you know, locked the doors, and did this really nice special showing of all the rings that he's collected. And he actually educated us really well on the type of cuts of diamonds. I held in my hand a $10,000 diamond, just the diamond itself, in my hand. He let us play with it, touch it. He showed us what the impurities were. He explained to us why certain rings cost more. He explained why certain diamonds cost more. And we had mentioned that we like moissanite, and he actually brought some rings with moissanite in it so we could actually look at it. And in my opinion, you know, diamond and moissanite, they look really similar, but the moissanite, it just reflects way better. It doesn't look as dull. But what was really nice about this guy who owned this little shop was that he did trips. He'll go to your house and show you all the diamonds, all the rings that you want. He'll do custom settings. He did all this stuff. But even then, he even said, if you end up not buying from me, that's fine. But if you do buy something, come to me so that we can take a look and see what you bought and see, okay, yeah, that's right, that's wrong. But he was really open about his knowledge, and it was really nice to be able to hold and touch all these rings to really just get an idea of what it feels like. And she saw some like vintage looking rings that she liked, and I mean there was like a ton of rings and diamonds that he was letting us touch. But that was a pleasant experience, and his experience was, you know, the reason why he got into this was because when he was buying his wife's ring in Israel, he was suckered. They sold him a ring for triple the amount of money than what it was worth. He paid for it and was happy. You know, his wife was happy, but he later found out that he was taken advantage of his money, and he vowed to never let that happen to anyone else, especially young people. And so, you know, just having that conversation with someone local who was willing to help out young people and not just try to sell them on whatever the biggest, brightest diamond they had was a really nice experience. And I would really highly suggest anyone that is looking for a ring to find someone like that if you can. I know it's kind of difficult, but if you can find someone who will take the time to explain it to you, take the time to show you, let you touch things, give us magnifying glasses and let us look to see how things look. Now granted, this was all prior to COVID, so we did a lot of this stuff beforehand, but I really wanted to find the ring that Catherine wanted. But we decided to keep looking, had him in the back of our head because, you know, he was a great guy, even if we just had a few questions. And in January, we went to a bridal show, just kind of showing. We hadn't been engaged yet, and we were just wanting to go take a look to see what things are out there and start getting ideas for what a wedding would look like. And let me just say this could be a separate video, but when you go to these bridal showers and you're not engaged and you don't have a date yet, don't tell them that, because they will ignore you, they won't talk to you, and they will kind of treat you kind of a little rude. So, but we went in there, we told people that we had not engaged yet, we're just looking, we're trying to get the ideas. And some people gave us some time, but other people were not willing to give us any time to talk, or they're just like, okay, well, come back to us when you're ready. But I say this because at these bridal shows, they do something called like a was it cake smash or something, where they get, you know, some women around who are gonna get engaged or get married, excuse me, and they hide a ring inside a cake and they rip apart the cake and they kind of fight each other to look for this one ring. And if they get the ring, they get to keep it. The ring was like $10,000 or like $6,000, something around that range. It was a really, really nice, expensive ring.
3, 2, 1, die!
And the person who wins it gets to keep it, essentially, and get their sizing. But the people who sponsored that, the jewelry store, was actually a local store here in Ventura called Nerces. And Nerces is actually, believe it or not, just a couple down the block from us. As we start looking at other places, she's like, you know what, let's give some of the local people some chances and see what they have. And we decided to go check out Nerces because that was fresh in our head. Nerces was there at the show, so we went to go take a look at them. And let me tell you, these people know how to do it right. Nerces, he was there. I know it's a family-owned business, so it's multiple generations, but the younger Nerces was there with his employees, and they took time. They took a lot of time to show us the rings that we were looking at. We showed them photos of rings that we were looking at, and they were getting things similar, and they were showing us what would work, what wouldn't work. And they really took time and effort to really, really explain this stuff to us. Well, we did that visit 3 weeks before lockdown. When we were looking through the rings, I had found a ring I was like, that's the perfect ring. As we were going through it, Catherine tried it on. I'm like, that's the ring. I know she likes it. But we had the shutdown. So Nerces was closed for a couple months. And I had saved the money up to buy the ring and get ready to buy it. But right when I was going to go buy it is when everything shut down. They closed down. So the good thing about that is it gave us more time to think. It gave us more time to really figure out what we want. In the end, it created a little bit more confusion because there's a lot more things that we started finding out about rings in general. So Catherine could not come up with her mind. She couldn't figure out what she wanted, and for me, it was a little frustrating because I wanted to get her a ring, and I didn't want to spend all this money on a ring not to be the good one, the perfect ring. I kind of let her talk, I let her do things, and I had a conversation with Catherine, and I asked Catherine, what if I just get you the stone, a 1 carat moissanite, and then just a solitaire band? I have something to give to you when I'm ready to propose, and we can go from there. And if we want to, or when we want to choose a different band, we can, because we can just pop the little stone off and place it back into the band. And we kind of had a little back and forth about, what's the cost benefit of that? What's the cost of this? But in reality, she agreed. She's like, you know what? That's fine. She's like, I can't make up my mind what I want. Give me some more time. But if you feel like you want to go and do this, you can. A few hidden trips during COVID. I tried to look around and some stores were open, but Nerces reopened and they had you wear a mask, and at one point it was the appointment only. But I had went in there talking about what I wanted to do, and Nerces actually helped me out, and he says, you know what, that's fine. We have moissanite. We can get you a moissanite. He showed me the moissanite that he had. He explained the color versus colorless. And he took the time to really sit there and talk to me about what our plans could be. And I told him I wanted the solitaire with the moissanite, and he said, that's fine. He said, you know what, if you want to do that, we'll sell you the stone, and we'll give you a solitaire band. It was a white gold solitaire band. And he says, when you're ready, come and see me. We'll get the wedding band and the engagement ring band, the one that she wants, and we're gonna do it properly. But he made me feel things were gonna be okay, because it's a little stressful with that much money. And I know I'm not a big spender kind of guy. I back and forth a few times, got Catherine's ring size and had them size her. And then I went to go buy the ring, and I held on to the ring. The ring was really done pretty fast. Got it within less than a week, and had the ring. And Nerces and his entire team were really nice and really helpful. What was really interesting too is because the ring that we bought it's not expensive, because the moissanite's not expensive. But when I was in there buying the ring to actually give them my money, there was another couple in there who were ready to get married, and as I'm filling out the paperwork and I'm talking, I listen to their conversations and I congratulate them on, getting ready to get engaged and everything. And they congratulated me in the same manner. And it turns out, as I'm hearing them, the guy, I think together they spent maybe $30,000 on her ring and his ring. But she wanted one of the bigger diamonds. She wanted a very specific diamond. I mean, this girl was very, she knew what she wanted. Altogether, put 30,000, but the guy put it on 7 cards, 7 credit cards to pay off for the thing, which is kind of ridiculous. You can't put 7. It's a lot of money. You gotta pay that all off, all credit cards and everything. You gotta take that into account. I mean, I would never put myself in that position where I would have a $30,000 ring for 2 people, and for what? It just doesn't make any sense. You got to really just buy a ring for your means. Don't overspend. Really have conversations with your significant other and talk about what the reality of it is all. As much as I would like a huge diamond too, or a huge ring, there's a reality behind it. Really understanding what each other wants. It's fine if your girlfriend wants a ring with a diamond, but shop around. Save up money for it. Don't go throwing it on a bunch of credit cards, because it's only going to lead you to more trouble. If you have the money to pay it off pretty fast, and by all means go ahead, but really talk about it, think about it. Really just think through your purchases. It's a big purchase. It's a big time of your life. And really think if the person that you're going to get the ring for, do you see yourself with that person for a long time, or is this just a flash in the pan kind of thing? And you're just doing it because you have puppy dog love, Give yourself some time. But yeah, that was kind of my experience buying a ring, and especially during this time where it's things were closed and things were open. But relatively, I think the jewelry stores, they want to help out, especially during this time. They want to help you. They want to get a sale, and people are being nicer this time and really taking the time to cater themselves to the customer now. If you have any questions or anything about the rings that we bought or what I was looking for, or anything about the stones, please reach out to us, and I'd be more than happy to talk about it, or even help you out, or even suggest some of the places that we've gone if you feel like you want to. If you're around the area, I can also go with you and show you. Thank you for joining me and listening to my rant and having fun with me. Thank you for joining. Be sure to like and subscribe, and as always, is it possible? Wedding possible. Thank you. Oh, okay. Blah 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 blah. 1, 2, 3. There was that girl with a dog who pooped. I didn't want to clean it up. Maybe I should just leave this open. Yeah, there we go. Look more Cuban that way. Hair look good. I think it does. Hamster's awake right now. I don't know if you can hear him, but that was a lot of talking. Jesus.